In his Norwich workshop, Rob is sorting out some of his old films.
And these have just come back from hire, and they were used, you know, some old film stuff, but there's something quite nice about film. We get stuff, so used to stuff being on digital media and this sort of stuff, and there's no physical, same as records. So it's nice to actually hold and use some real film.
With restoration and repair skills like Rob's, it's quite common for him to get a call out to lend a hand to someone in a bit of a fix. And today, he's on his way to the charity Men's Sheds. Founded in 2013, it brings men together to share skills and make friends.
Get in here. Wow. It's huge.
There are around 600 men's sheds across the UK. Rob's local one is just a year old. From mechanics to woodwork and electronics, it's all under one roof. And team leader Terry is going to show Rob the ropes.
Terry, I recognise you. Got your name on there. How are you? All right?
Nice to see you.
I mean, this place is enormous, and I'd heard of men's sheds, but I didn't know what this was all about. So this is just brilliant. So you've got, what sort of things do you do here? I mean, there's so much going on.
We're here specifically for men who find themselves alone, they're lonely and isolated. And this is a place they can come, meet, mix, make friends if they want to, and make stuff. I call it stuff because you can make what you want.
So you can come here and make things and, you know, repair things or, you know...
Yeah, behind you, you've got loads of pallets, which I've begged, stealed and borrowed, and we're going to make stuff out of them. We're going to make benches, we're going to make anything you want. So if it works out, fine. If it doesn't, we scrap it and we do it again.
But it's not just small-scale projects they take on here.
This is a Series 2 Land Rover.
Wow.
It came in a box only a few weeks ago. And look, we've got the engine, we've got the gearbox, and it's coming on week by week, which is fantastic.
So you've got all these other projects you're doing here. This
is just one of many. You've got this here. We've got a Land Rover being restored at the back.
Right.
In our woodwork shop over the back there, we're making lots of things for the community, back boxes, bird boxes, and anything you want to make. Yeah, hopefully you'll become a member.
You never know. Yeah, you never know.
You've got to join us.
Terry, I think it's fantastic. I really do.
Rob's not just here for the tour. He's been asked to service an old radiogram. But before that, one of the members needs a hand. Les is fixing a 1950s Bush VHF 55 radio that's been in his family for generations. He seems to be on the right track, but before Rob tackles his own job, he can't help but offer a bit of advice.
Wait, hello there.
Hello.
I just spoke to Terry.
Yes.
I'm Rob. You must be Les. He mentioned
I'm Les, yeah.
tinkering with this Bush radio. Has he got it?
Trying to get this thing going. It's a sort of family heirloom. It's been gathering dust for ages. I think this is probably dated from the 1950s, so it's not a vintage radio, but it's still got the quality of a wooden cabinet and a nice big speaker. Unfortunately, it's had a bit of wear and tear. I don't think there's any woodworm in it, but it's been scraped and battered.
But in the right place to go, that's
but we've got some lovely cabinet-making guys here who can sort that out.
Yeah, you've always said you can't beat those. Lovely big wooden cabinet.
It's an all-valve, and I think the rectifier valve has had its day. Yeah, I've got a variable transformer to build up the
you've actually had some power on it.
Yeah, a little bit, but there's no life in it at all. If I can get the electronics up, get rid of a few spiders, and perhaps replace some of it. When it's working, it's going to be lovely. It's a lovely mellow tone, and they'd be worth at least £10.
That's the thing with all this stuff. Yes. So what's it like when all these other guys are here? Because it's not quite a place to work on radio.
Well, it's a distraction. As long as there's no loud bangs and clocks, you tend to switch off, concentrate on what you're doing. But somebody will come up and say, what on earth are you doing? Where's that? My dad had one of these, blah, blah, blah.
So, how does Les plan to fix this 1950s radio?
I just got a new valve, so we'll stick that on and see whether we get any voltage out of the transformer. Modern radios, you can't do anything. This is all beautifully laid out. So I'll take the old valve out. Let's get this round the right way. In she goes. and oh, you can see all that goo coming out the transformer. It may be the transformer that's past its best here.
They do struggle with capacitors on these. They're notorious for causing problems.
Are they? Okay.
And even though they look perfect, they get very leaky, electrically leaky. So you might find that that's what's caused the transformer to get hot.
That's right.
But these ones are basically just made of, plastic and tinfoil wrapped up with wax inside.
Yeah, you can see that one there.
That's really starting to...
That's really...
But you'll really, if you want to use it on a regular basis, these ones you'll want to replace.
With the service manual to hand, Rob is able to find the exact cause of the problem.
This will be what's causing that transformer to bubble.
OK, yeah.
C58, because it'll be like a load of current to flow through it.
Yeah.
And this will let me draw in tons of current.
Yeah.
And getting so hot, and it starts to draw too much, and this then starts to struggle.
So we'll whiz him out.
Look at those.
Whiz him out and replace it, and get the soldering iron out, and
have a look at those capacitors.
Now we go and change that.
The Bush radio isn't the only vintage item that Les has on the workbench.
As I walked in this morning, the chap said, Les, have a look at this, would you? This has been in my family.
Oh, look at that.
And can we do anything with that?
Isn't that beautiful?
And it's a wonderful, big old thing with a clunky whether the motor work, because it's all wind-up gramophone, no electrics. It's just purely acoustic. It hasn't got a winding.
You got no handle.
So we've got to make a lever.
Sure.
Take it apart, see if the clockwork motor works, but what a machine!
They're beautiful. So they've got a big double-sprung motor on these, so watch your fingers.
Oh, OK.
Because they won't take any prisoners if they let go.
I've never been into something like this, but this is a challenge. You never stop learning in this game.
While Les cracks on with his work, it's time for Rob to get down to business. He's here to service a Decca Sound Radiogram Compact 3 from the 1970s, which combines a record player and a radio. Les has previously repaired it, but Rob is here to resolve a problem with crackly volume control.
So Les has had this on the bench, and he's fixed this unit, but he just wants a bit of a service. It's nearly there, but we just need a little bit of tinkering just to finish it off. Right, so volume. OK, what does this do? Right, that bit's working as it should do. I need to get a little bit of service cleaner in the volume control and the switches because they're really noisy. But apart from that, it seems to be doing as it should do. Les has done a fine job. It's in really lovely condition. There we are. Everything's nice and modular on it. It's lovely. You can see everything. Basically, the controls just get noisy over the years through dust and muck getting on them, and this stuff cleans it all up and lubricates that track as well. It's the dog's doodahs. If these are moved around, and this then just moves all the lubrication and cleaning this stuff around inside. They're as good as when they were new. Brilliant news. Right. Happy days. Job's a good one. It was really nice to meet Les, and I hope that I might be at a point in the right direction with his radio he's working on. Any excuse to get out of the workshop's always a bonus. So I've been really enjoying my day today, but I need to get back.